Yo guys, what is up? It is Teacher's Game 2 coming at you with another video here on my Dino a Day review series, and we are up to the Daeodon. Now, the Daeodon, commonly considered one of the most angering creatures in Ark, especially if you are, well, for lack of a better word, encountering them in the wild. They are a pain in the butt. However, when they are tamed, they are a necessity because one, you use them in PvE, you use them in PvP, and in general, they are just great tames. Let me show you why. Now, starting stat-wise, these things have a really good amount of, well, just for lack of a better word, good base stats. Now, their base stats are nothing special, but what you really want to focus on, just so you know, and I'm adding experience just so you can see here. Now, right there, 7,200, not bad starting health at all. Melee, not bad. None of these are bad, but what you really want to do, especially if you want a good Daeodon, crank up their food. Now, you can crank the food on these guys really high. Now, I'll put it around 65,000 just for the purpose of this. I like to give them some health as well because they can get some really crazy healths. Now, they do not take, well, for lack of a better word, they really don't have that much ability to tank, so they're not super useful for PvP, but they are good overall tames for one specific reason. Now, their food. The reason that we raise their food is because they have a secondary attack ability that allows them to heal any allied or tamed friendly dino in range. Now their food is what controls that stat. Now with raw meat, it'll go up, and you can force feed them this just so you know. It'll go up 10 food per raw meat they eat. However, there are better ways to do this. If you happen to have raw prime meat, it'll go up 50 per prime meat they consume, but obviously it doesn't last for very long. And that brings us to the special hidden thing that a lot of people don't think about. If you cook prime meat, let's say you go into the wyvern trench and kill a whole bunch of wyverns, you'll come back with quite a bit of prime meat. What you want to do, cook it. Because it stacks in 30s, and as you can see, it'll pump 50 per bite they eat, and you can really crank some food into your piggy if this is actually what you want to do. Now, you can see the food bar actually going up, which is quite useful, and I'll show you why it's really useful. Now, let's say, for example, you have a Carbonemus that you're trying to heal after you raid. Now, this Carbonemus takes a little bit of damage right there, as you can see. We're going to go and drop, like, I don't know, another 5 or 10 hits. Now, if he's soaking bullets, your Carbonemus will lose some health. That's just how it works. Normally, they take forever to actually gain and lose health. So, what we're going to do, bring the Daeodon nearby, and you're going to use his secondary attack, and it heals himself, and also the Carbonemus. Now, I just hopped off, so he won't passively heal, but there is a way to set that. And he will increase the health, increase on these Carbonemus as he's there. Now you can also set him to enable passive healing, and whenever there's a dino nearby that needs healing, he will help them crank up their health. Now you can see this guy's health is actually moving very rapidly back up, which is quite nice. It also works on himself. So, the negative, food is dropping insanely fast from this. You got to make sure you have a bunch of food on him. Now, you can also sit here while he's doing this, and if you're in a boss fight especially, have somebody force feed him because, well, as you can see right here, he will continue to eat nonstop. But if you have someone sitting there counteracting, even raw meat will do, he will provide you with whatever you need just fine. So as you can see, this guy's going up pretty quick now because he's got that passive healing on. But if I just sit here with right click on, I can basically manually control it. So he is losing and gaining stuff when I tell him to. And you can combat his loss of food pretty well. However, he is going to eventually go down. Sometimes it's better just to hold it over one. But he does increase the health of things really fast. So it allows you to raid faster, do more boss fights, and just in general have a better time in Ark. Not enough people use these guys though, unfortunately, because I don't know why, to be totally honest with you. They are pretty nice creatures to have. Just because, especially like, look at this. He's just helping our teammates here. What a nice guy. So, they do have a little bit of tank ability. I personally don't like their tankage, but that's me. They can gather berries, And they gather meat decently well, but nothing like super special. They don't really have an ability to gather anything else. The big thing is really they can just heal their people that are raiding. They can heal their tames up while they're waiting for the next push. They can also basically just save your tames in a boss fight. A whole bunch of different things, basically giving you double the amount of health on whatever tame you're trying to use. Now, no passive healing is on, you can tell. Okay, come on. If you turn that bad boy on, or just hop on and use your secondary attack, he actually does a really good job of healing everybody, including himself. And we're talking thousands of health he's healing. He was at about 8 to 10,000 health when we started this, and he's now at 21,000. So the Daeodon. One of the better tames that's underused, but still, I would really recommend you at least have 1 or 2 in your base. And getting a breeding lines of these things going, you can get them, well, you can easily get them into about 100,000 food, which is obviously useful, because then you don't have to worry about force feeding. You kind of just sit there and, well, do what you need to do. So, anyways, hopefully this little Daeodon review, if you've never used one, get one. They really are useful and they help you in pretty much everything you do, whether you're doing PvE or PvP. Alright, hopefully you enjoyed the series, and, well, not series, this episode of the series, and if there's anything else you want me to do, let me know. Alright, Teacher's Game 2, out.